All right, I have a lighter and a heavier set of dumbbells this morning, so if you have something you can switch off to, great. If just one set, no worries. It's all just picking up heavy things and doing our best. I'm going to turn on our music and get us going. Stand up on your yoga mat. Take a wide stance, place your hands over your body and just kind of check in. Breath, attention. Give yourself thanks for coming to this practice. A time to feel strength, connection with yourself. Let the belly rise and fall, breath rise and fall. Allow the mantra of gratitude for the opportunity to keep going, to keep trying, to be with you throughout this 45 minutes. Lift the arms up to the sky, big stretch. Stretch to one side, side bend. Come back across the center, a little side bend over to the other side. Good. Both arms back up to the sky. Fold right on between the legs. You can separate the legs a little wider. Good morning. Look at the hamstrings. And then change to downward facing dog. So place the hands towards the front of your mat, step your feet to the back of the mat, and down dog, pedal it out here. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. In plank, let's bring our feet close together, squeeze in the glutes, lengthen your tailbone, tone the abdomen, and look forward. This is our first hold. Stay still, accept a little bit of a rock forward and back. So come tips of the toes as the heels pull forward and push back. Try not to let yourself sway from side to side. Just a little shove forward and back. If that's too much, and hands, wrists, shoulders, stay as is. Push back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Stand up, lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, touch back down. Moving into our sun salutations, our triple B style sun salutations. Walk the hands to dog pose and then add the twist. Right hand to the left leg, look under, pull under. Set the hand down, do it on the left side. Set the hand down, forward to plank, mountain climbers. Twist, try to touch the opposite elbow as the knee pulls forward. And step or jump the feet up around the hands as you stand fully upright for air body weight squats. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward at the top each time. And then step back to plank today. Go down to the knees for this warm-up. 4 push-ups. On the knees, please. Push back to child's pose. Nice stretch through the lats, the upper back here. And change to down dog. Walk the hands back to the feet. Stand up, arms to the sky. All right, we take this a little bit quicker. Forward fold. Walk it forward. Twist. Into your mountain climbers. About 8 here. Go for those twisted mountain climbers to get a little bit more into the sides of the body, the obliques. Stand all the way up. No worry about going fast in the body weight squats. You really want to find your full range of motion. And then step it back. 4 push-ups on the knees. Make it doable. Push back to child's pose. Change to dog pose. Walk it in. Stand up, lift to the sky. One more time. Exhale, fold over. Walk it out. Down dog twist. Mountain climbers with a twist. All month in Triple B, we've got a core focus. Today we're getting there through arms as well. Seeing how holding the stability through the trunk of the body and flexing our arms a little bit gets us into the core. Okay, remember 4 more push-ups. Child's pose. Stay there just a little extra beat. So as you push back into child's pose, really sit into allowing your hips to go down close to your heels. Be on your fingertips, lift your forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. If you feel even the least bit dizzy or unsettled, look forward rather than allowing the head to come down. Okay, we are standing all the way up. Get there however you want. Pick up your first set of weights. I'm going to go with my heaviest set right off the bat, see what happens. And take a split stance, meaning one foot is in front of the other is on the toes, so that you can keep that weight more in the forward foot, which makes you strengthen up through that front line of the body rather than leaning back. Okay, this is a simple hammer curl. So the hands face in towards each other as you come up to the hammer curl, and then we add a Y curl to that out to the sides. It's forward, and then elbows stay locked in as the hands go out to the side. Join me now if you haven't already. Forward and out. In terms of the breath, if you're thinking of an exhale each time it's heaviest, that's great. So as I'm trying to pull the dumbbells up towards my shoulders each interval, exhale it out. Do 2 more here. When you're on your split stance, it doesn't matter which foot is forward. You can switch it up or not. And then set those down for a moment and shake out your arms. We're gonna combo two different exercises always together. I'm gonna go with my lighter dumbbell to make this more doable, and I'm turning around just to show you where we start. So I'm holding the dumbbell like a candlestick. The other hand can help support, keep your elbow close in to your ear. And this is for triceps. You're dipping down towards the opposite shoulder and straight back up. Place one arm overhead. Help yourself with keeping the elbow in place or don't. And then dip down and straight up. We're going about 10 times here. These tend to really turn things on harder than we might imagine it to be when you look on the outside. Elbow stays forward. The other thing I sometimes spot myself with is helping that opposite hand lift up to the sky. Great, put in one more here. Safely come on down, switch second side. Again, holding the dumbbell more like a candlestick. So I've got one bulky side. And instead of going straight down to the same shoulder, it's crossing over to the opposite shoulder behind your back. So we'll work all around the upper arm bone, these triceps, being strengthened and toned. So helpful in our typical yoga practice. Come on down. Give yourself just a few moments in between as you switch sets. We go back to the hammer curl with the Y raise as well. Ready? Find your weights. If you're thinking, I wish I was doing just a little bit more in the legs, you can take a long lunge shape with this. Keep both knees a little bent and then go right into it. And that'll ask even more of core stability and balance. Promise you, I can always find ways to make something harder. I can also always find you a way to make it more doable and accessible for you. Hammer curl, Y raise, keep it going. About 10, I'm not counting specifically for you, so if you want to find that specific count, do it yourself. Go back to the triceps. If you're looking for that extra build, take it into your goddess stance here, and then add the triceps. Keep the breath steady. Think exhale out every time you're at the hardest lift of the pose, of the exercise. Switch your sides. All right, let's get it done here. Working with your breath, we're thinking exhale, release down each time as the top of the torso knits down, pelvic floor lifts up. Okay, safely set the weight down. Again, give everything just a little bit of a pause. Great time to get that sip of water. And let's go for it. One more round. And then we get a switch up. If you took your bicep curls, your hammer curls and the Y curl with the lunge, switch legs this time. Extend all the way down at the bottom. So you want to start from straight arms each time. Try to keep the elbows close into the sides. you're ever in the mode to repeat triple B a second time during the week, I recommend doing the same week's exercise so that you target those same muscle groups a second time. If you're looking for an increase in strength build, if it's all about toning overall, you can always switch it up. Okay, we're on to triceps. Last round here for the single candlestick hold. Always going towards that opposite shoulder. Try to keep from shoulder to elbow as steady as possible, no movement for them. As this fatigues, it's supposed to. The third set should always be the hardest. Feel free to give yourself a helping hand, keep that elbow in place, or spot your weight for yourself. Switch sides after about 10. Third set, when I'm working on my own, I do it to fatigue. Sometimes that means I'll get 5, 6, 8, 10. When I go beyond 10, I know I maybe didn't push it quite enough. And that's when I think about upping the weights next time I come to that exercise. Okay. So no weights for this next start. You are coming into downward facing dog. Nice and simple down dog in terms of the shape. My only ask is for you to hold downward facing dog here with straight arms. You can be as still as you'd like, less movement. Again, if you're looking for something that gives you a little bit more release, a little more doability, do child's pose with straight arms. If you're looking for something with more challenge here, I want you to slowly tiptoe your feet forward until your shoulders are over the line of the hands, using the strength you would need for a handstand, and then tiptoe your feet back. And you'll use that little tiptoe forward and back if you're upping the game in the challenge a couple of times. Wherever you are, stay with it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then everybody sit down on your bum, have your weights handy. I want you to pick up the heaviest thing that you set out for yourself. Chest press lying down. So you need a weight on either side. Safely lie back. Arms like goddess. Weights right hovering over the line of the chest with a deep bend in the elbows, but always hover the elbows above the ground. Push down through your feet, your butt, your shoulders, your head, and let's go straight and bend 10 times. You want to up this a little bit. Make the ends of the dumbbells touch each time you come up. And that just adds in a little squeeze, slight bit work for the deltoids as well as the chest here. After 10, sit up, set the dumbbells Carefully to the sides, out of your way. And go back to the downward facing dog, child's pose, or inchworming forward and up variation of your choice. So we're playing with these two things. And feel free to have a bend in the knees if hamstrings are your limiting factor here. Just bend the knees the whole time. Try to take that out of the equation. Get the hips as high as you can, over the line of the shoulders as you walk forward and back. Everyone really grip the earth underneath the finger pads. Get more weight into the inner edge of the hand the whole time. All right, everybody pause in your down dog again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch back to your bum. Set up and go in your chest press. Here in the press, I'm thinking a lot about the breath. Knit the low ribs down towards the belly, towards the top of the pelvis. A good S through each exhale can really enhance that connection to breath. And carefully, safely set the weights down, roll up. One more time for that down dog variation. Pick the things you want to pick. If you really want to up the game and happen to be right against a wall, or if you're doing this a second time, later on, you can make these down dogs a handstand kick up and hold. That handstand is right against a wall so that you're not having to hold balance. You're looking for length of time and hold. As we can all see, down dog gets us there. I'm feeling pretty fatigued already. Okay, last time to lie back, chest press. This one for sure, you can usually up the game in the amount of weight. Just being careful if you are doing a heavier weight in that chest press to be really strong and held mid to low back down into the mat. So the press and the work indeed comes in the chest with stability everywhere else. About 4 more here, wherever we are. Elbows hover right above the earth at the low point, straight arms at the high point. Come on back up. Set the weights off to the side, nice and safe. Stand up. Find the top end of your mat. Little interlude of a regular old sun salutation here. Lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Curl the chest up in cobra. Go back to downward facing dog. Lift to your hands, step or jump to the front end of your yoga mat. Inhale, half lift, fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky, and then do it one more time. Fold back down to the toes. Inhale, half lift. Step back, lower down. We typically know, because we're used to the yoga movement, how to regulate the breath when we get into sun salutations. Use your knowledge and power here. Step it forward, half lift, and fold. Stand up, arms to the sky. Hold here, take a little side bend. And up and over to the second way. Okay, this next set is for sure with your lightest set of weights that you had set out for yourself today. It's all about what they'd say, time under tension. I'm going to go with a split stance. Curl halfway up, and then just a nice open grip. You're not trying to grit around the dumbbell. You want to keep it nice and open. And we're simply doing the top part of the curl 10 times with only one arm. So just up and down, light enough here that this is pretty quick. And then you switch to the second hand, obviously. Balance it out. If the weights are so heavy that you're having to really grip and hold with the fingers, if you have something lighter, even a water bottle, a can of soup or something, that works. We're trying to keep this doable in the sense of the hold. All right, and then you go back to the first hand and you're turning out and pulling back to the middle. It's just out and center. And then those 2-3 pounds start to get heavy because we've held that tension in the biceps the whole time. Switch to your second hand and that external rotation. Woo! Pull up strong from your feet, pelvis, low belly to help sustain here. Release down, set the weight all the way down for a moment. Shake it out. Okay, this is our last work with the weights. So we've got 2 more sets of this exercise. Let's pick it up and get it done for. I'm going to try a regular stance, just feet side by side this time. See how that does me. A little bend in the knees. Should be a little more difficult than a split stance. Keep that in mind as you go. Just really pulse up and down. Try to keep the low point no lower than the elbow line. Switch to your second side if you haven't already. Looking good here. All right, we go back to the first side with the external rotation. I always notice a lot of difference. This is where I can find the strong difference in the flexibility and range of motion in the shoulders for me. Maybe you're noticing the same thing. Go to your second side. And nothing matters with that. You're just working with what you're working with. Try not to take the torso into the rotation, just the arms. And release, set it down, give yourself a moment of pause, shake out the arms again. All right, less time to pick up a heavy thing, and then we're into a core circuit. Let's do it. Top of the curl. Remember, you are holding pretty lightly. No strong grip around the fingers here. Keep the elbow tucked into the side. Don't let it go out. Nice. Switch sides. Straight up and down in our chest. Shoulders right over the line of the hips. As it gets hard, gratitude to keep going. You can even set down the weights and keep the movement and the exercise. Go to that external rotation. It can be slow, it can be half time. Really focused. Let's get the last side done. All right, friends, set it down. Weights out of your way. Again, transition with a sun salutation. Come to the top end of your mat. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower it down. Cobra. Down dog. Look to the hands, step or jump to the front. Half lift and fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky, and then just arms down by your side. Okay, getting us into a core circuit. Hands go straight out in front of you. Look towards your fingertips for balance and lift your heels off of the ground. Find a way to stabilize here, lifted on your toes. With the heels lifted, come to a squat. But as much towards your heels as possible. Hold as you come down. And then stand back up. What are you having to do to balance, to stabilize? And go back down. Your lowest point that you can. What works for your knees, hips, all of the things. Stand back up. Woo. And last time we try to sit. This time you're sitting all the way down to your yoga mat. Kind of like a crab position with hands behind you. At least if Luna's ever watching me at this point, she says, I can crab walk forward and back, no problem. So you're setting up like that, fingers face towards the heels unless you need more rotation out to the sides. Lift your bum off of the ground and hold it. It's just a little lift, and then crab kicks. Pick up the feet and kick. Side to side here. Not super hard, I hope. And now bum goes down. Lean back on the hands so that you can take your feet off of the ground. And then take one hand to your belly so that only one hand is helping you on the ground. Can you feel your navel moving in? Do your best to make that happen. And then both hands come up and you are in boat pose. This week in the peak pose class, we worked half boat. We're going to play with it here. It's like a canoe. Straighten the legs, lie a little further back, and then come back high up with a bend in both knees. Straighten the legs, lean a little further back for half boat or canoe, and then all the way up. We do it 3 more times. Lean back and up, back and up. Back and up. Crab walk hands, set down the feet, lift your bum, kick 10 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your bum down, go back to boat pose with hands forward. And then we twist side to side. Try to roll all the way to one hip so that the other hip comes off of the ground as you take this twist. Use the legs, use the rotation in the core. You're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lie all the way down onto your back. Stretch the arms overhead as you do so. So in that chest press earlier, we made a big deal about making mid to low back go down towards the yoga mat. Here, I want you to lift it up like you're an extension or more of a back bend throughout the spine, especially that low back, Lordic spine, where we are exaggerating the curve that's already there. So this is the bottom end of a stretch and reach crunch. Change so that your heels are on the mat, a bend in the knees. But I'm going to keep my toes off the mat and a flex foot just so that there's a good bit of a tension there. Still in the stretch here, so you're getting lots of relief through the front of the torso right now, I hope. And then we're adding in a crunch. Arms go straight up to the sky. Lift head and shoulders up. And then full reach back. Crunch and reach. Crunch and reach. Keep it going like that. Crunch and reach. Try to get that low back curve each time you go into the reach. That is that stretch and extension in the rectus abdominis. Your 6-pack right along the front. Each time you crunch, transverse abdominis. Squeezing and hugging in. About 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the hands out to a T. Hug both knees towards the chest. And then extend the knees out over the line of the hips so you're feeling some work there. Now, mid to low back down towards the mat. Toe taps, one at a time. Tap the feet down. The opposite of those crab kicks where you're kicking it out. Now you're tapping it down. Just side to side. Try to keep the 90-degree shape. Tap one toe at a time. 1 foot at a time. Glue the feet together. Woo! Hands by your side for 10 reverse crunches. The toes swing down for those toe taps together and all the way up to the sky. Use a little momentum. Ooh, my arms are feeling that, just they're anchoring down. We did good work. And hug your knees into the chest. You've done all of the hard things. You start with this much sweat, concentration, and work on yourself. I hope that makes the whole rest of your day a little bit easier, because at least you're not having to pick up a heavy thing. Hold just your left knee into your chest and then fold it across the midline of the body. Extend the left arm out to the side so you're getting that opening across your chest as you get in a little twist. All right, second side, hug the right knee into the chest, or your second side. Take it across the midline of the body into the twist. Extend the same arm out. As you come back to your center, come to a seated position. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. One arm across, a little bit more release in the shoulders. And then up overhead in the triceps. Second side. Triceps. Shake it out and just fold over your legs. Close the eyes for a moment here. Say something kind to yourself. Send out kindness to those practicing with you, both live or virtually. And you have done it. Thanks for being here for Triple B today.